Welcome back, Nick Lenz, Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 1017 and Doubleshot number 911. Like I said in the last video, 2 trades involving Spider-Man. This one definitely involves Spider-Man, especially since the movie came out just this year. This is Avengers Endgame Prelude. Yep. Or should I say, Avengers Infinity War adaptation. Yes. I have no idea why they can't simply just call it. It's just that's pretty much what the miniseries here is. The whole Prelude thing is a lie. It's not a prelude to the film. It's an adaptation of the previous film, Infinity War. I have no idea why in the world Marvel does this for. It seems as though the last known book that said Prelude, and it was a prelude, of the time I think was Captain Marvel. That's all I can think of. It was the last one I can think of. But the whole Prelude title thing, for a lot of time lately, it's just been nothing more than lies. It's a lie. That's not the actual what this book is. It's just an adaptation of Infinity War. An adaptation that pretty much cuts a lot of really interesting scenes in the movies and not much change to them. Yep, that's simply what it is. I will talk about in here the other 2 books in here. Infinity Gauntlet number 1. This is, of course, from the 90s by Jim Starlin. I think George Perez did the artwork. And the final issue of Michael Bendis' run for Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, the Infinity Gauntlet issue, I got at least got to point this out, though. Now, in the film, Infinity War, there is this scene, and of course seen in the trailers, where the Hulk comes crashing through the Snake Sanctorum through the skylight. Here's its counterpart from the comic book. In the comic book, it was the freaking Silver Surfer. I appreciate the trade actually included this particular scene, this particular comic book, because this scene was actually used for the film. And yes, Wong was there too, so at least they got that part right. So, when it comes to Infinity War, it's a loose adaptation of this book and Thanos' Quest. The book itself is really good. I highly recommend checking out the Infinity Gauntlet event. It's a really good 6-issue miniseries. The Guardians of the Galaxy book is something I've reviewed before. Yes, it's just basically the Guardians versus Thanos before he gets arrested and taken off to space. Though he later escapes anyways. Not much to say about this, but I like the Infinity War stuff, the Infinity Gauntlet stuff, and the Guardians of the Galaxy books in here. But the Prelude stuff, like I said, the title of this book is a lie. Prelude means you're going to be setting up for the actual film. It's just an adaptation, a 3-issue adaptation of Infinity War. That's all it is. And they cut out one of the best scenes in the movie, basically Cap fighting frickin' Thanos. Nowhere in this book at all. Nope. Give this book a 7.5 out of 10. The book was a lie. But at least the artwork is really good. Yep. Here's something a lot more interesting. We have the final trade for Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 3. Well, this is basically the end of the 3rd volume, though this is from the triple digit numbering. Yeah, the final 3 issues of the series, issues 311, 313, plus 2 one-shots of the Spider-Geddon crossover, Spider-Geddon Noir, and Spider-Geddon animated video comic books. Now, the thing with these issues right here, it's simply what Peter Parker was up to from the 616 universe during the Spider-Geddon crossover. He fought Morlun in these issues. Yep. Now, these issues are not done by Chip Zdarsky. Nope. For the last 3 issues of the series, we have Sean Ryan take over the series. Yes, with Jameson in the book, at least I appreciate, though, Sean Ryan at least knows what happened in these previous issues. Like, the whole thing about Jameson knowing that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, that was something Zdarsky established, which basically Slott brought up in the main book. And he spends most of the time basically fighting him. There's a lot of funny stuff in here, like Morlun putting on a t-shirt. I thought that was so hilarious. And, of course, having Miles show up, that was really good. And having to find Central Park was a really brilliant stroke of genius on the part of, well, not only Spider-Man universe, but also Sean Ryan, because, well, at least the damage was minimalized. And, of course, the book ended with, I think it was Spider-Gwen showing up and leading into Spider-Geddon. Yep. The Noir book is simply put what Spider-Man Noir was up to prior to him being recruited. Apparently fought, I think it was Mysterio? He fought some new villain in this universe, which I appreciate, though, they actually give him one more one-shot. Because nothing much has been done with this character since his 2 miniseries. He teams up with the Black Cat, who's known as the White Widow in this universe. I don't know if that's been simply put. He basically fights these issues. He fights the Shocker. Yes. If you want to know what the Shocker looks like in the Noir universe, this is the Shocker. And apparently he has his own company. Yep. And here's what the Black Cat looks like as simply they call her the White Widow. I have no idea what she calls herself this for, but she does. Yep. And this is her costume. It's not a battling costume, but there's a reason why she wears that mask. Because at the end of the first, I believe it was the second miniseries for Spider-Man Noir, the main villain of that series slashed her face, gave her a scar, and that's the reason why she wears the mask. It's a great little one-shot, and of course leads into the Spider-Geddon crossover, where he meets up with Spider-Man UK. Now here's something about this. This is the last solo story featuring the character before he gets killed off in Spider-Geddon. In my opinion, killing this character off was a terrible idea. They also killed Spider-Man UK as well, but I'll talk about that when I talk about Spider-Geddon. Then we have the Spider-Man and the animated one. This is basically, I think, from the look at the style. I think this is not from the Earth's Mightiest Hero. This is from Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, it's from that cartoon. Yep. And just him in a whack museum fighting Mysterio, which the version of Mysterio shows up in here is, well, like, wow, they kind of, well, this is what he looks like. Yep. That's what he looks like. That's him. Right there in the corner, weathered by Spider-Man. Yep. And the book, it just basically tinkles in with the Whack Museum and it meets up with Spider-Punk, even though he originally comics of Spider-Man in his own short story. And that's basically it. Yeah, that's all this book is, just tying to Spider-Geddon. So, to end this particular series, it was really good for 2 years, and you end it with a tie-in to a crossover. Why not? Marvel's done it for years to have their final issue tied into crossovers. DC does the same thing too, but these are good. I'm going to give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, in case you wonder who does the artwork for the Peter Parker Test of Spider-Man issues, that's done by Julian Borgari. The Noir book is written by David Hayne and Fabrice Savatsky, and artwork by Paco Diaz. The anime one, basically, is written by Kevin Sunick, and artwork by Dario Baruza. But this, of course, is really good. Now that I get my final thoughts on this particular run. This run was fantastic on the Chips Artist. He did a fantastic job with this character. I mean, the guy is known for basically putting in humor in comics. Of course, the guy currently writes Daredevil, which doesn't have much humor anyways. When I heard that he was for a couple years ago, when I heard this book being announced and him being the writer, I'm like, okay, I'm interested. Because I like his work on the Howard the Duck book, and plus I love a Star Wars book as well, so why not check out this book? And wow, such a good book. I mean, his run was not very long. No, it started with this, this issue was like 6 issues, and then with the 7th issue, it was renumbered to 300, which I was so happy to see, because I knew when this series came back a couple years ago that it had to reach 300. I think even Zardesky knew that. So, and then 13 issues later, the book ends. Yep. So he only did most of this run. Say, think about 6 plus 11. He only did 17 issues of this 20-issue run. Yeah, this was a 20-issue run. Yeah. And he did a good job with the book. I think the only fault he did was that for his final arc he killed off the Sandman. I'm not sure why he killed off the Sandman for, but he did. Yeah, Sandman's dead. He committed suicide. Yeah, it's particularly very bizarre of why he decided to kill him off for, but he did. Then he left before the series was actually probably concluded. And then you have Sean Ryan, who my only exposure for his Marvel work is his brief run on Nova. Yeah, I say brief run because it was 11 issues before Marvel had to stupidly hit the restart button. That's probably the reason why the book got canceled, because people got tired of the dumb restarts for the damn book. Yep. I mean, the guy himself is a good writer. I mean, the only books I can think of I've read basically him aside from this, and of course Nova is of course New Suicide Squad. I think like there was like one-ish. I think it was one of the Batman Giant Size books, and that's basically been it when it comes to Sean Ryan. I don't know if he's doing anything more for Marvel right now. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, the book is not terrible. It's not a terrible book. It's actually a well-written book, and the book was interesting to read. Kept me engaged the whole story, and I love the fact that there were Miles in here. I mean, why not? Heck, I appreciate that he referred to Jameson as Mr. Jameson, because after all, Jameson is not, he's not as close to Jameson as, let's say, Peter is, but that's at least a sign of respect he has toward Jameson. Yep. Of course, he doesn't tell Jameson that he already knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. I mean, he's known for a long time, and Jameson just found recently. Yep. Not much else to say about these issues. I mean, of these two trades, this was really good. This was good, but the title itself is Big Fat Lie. In case you wonder who wrote this one, this is written by Will Corona Pilgrim. That is who wrote this miniseries. A miniseries that should have been called Avengers Infinity War Adaptation, but no, we have to call it Endgame Prelude, even though that's not what it is. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned. Well, that's the last thing I'm going to do today anyways. Tomorrow, I'm planning on doing at least about 2 or 3 at most. I mean, I'm going to do review the newest episode of Case Closed, which was Return to the Canon episodes, review of the newest review of Case Closed film, and I think maybe a comic corner. It just depends, okay? But see you next video. Bye.